Has anyone else noticed that The Simpsons have predicted the future yet again?
Spider Pig does whatever a Spider Pig does. It can get weirder.
I'm on to you, Matt Groening. I know what you truly are. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Luke's Reviews. On today's video, I will be reviewing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I was very fortunate enough to attend a preview showing of Spider-Man thanks to the good folk over at Medicinema. If you haven't heard of Medicinema, they are a fantastic charity that provide care for sick children by screening films for them, even if it's just for an hour or two, to help take their minds off their illnesses and just entertain them in the magic of film. They really are a sensational charity, and I'll include a link to their website in the description for you guys to check out. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is a brand spanking new Spider-Man adventure, but this time our focus isn't on Peter Parker, but instead on Miles Morales. If you've read the comics, you'll know that a Miles Morales film is way overdue. I'll keep the premise vague because the trailers have hidden quite a fair bit with this film. Miles Morales is a typical high school kid until he's bitten by a radioactive spider and begins to develop superhero powers. At that same time, Kingpin is developing a multi-dimensional machine, but when that goes haywire, multiple incarnations of Spider-Man are sent crashing into Miles' universe as he learns to find the hero within himself. I think it's fairly safe to say that Sony have been hit or miss when it comes to their Spider-Man films. I mean, earlier this year we had Venom, and that didn't exactly turn out well.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the is that?
So I was a little trepidatious going into Spider-Verse, but I shouldn't have been, because it turns out it's one of my favourite films of 2018. The general concept of all these Spider-Men, women, pigs, robots all coming together seemed like it was destined to fail, but it's through the writing of Phil Lord, who most of you will know from the Jump Street films and the Lego Movie, partnered with Chris Miller, and the unique style of direction that make Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse much more than just your typical everyday superhero film. It's clear to me that they understand the essence of what makes Spidey, Spidey. Shameik voices Miles Morales, and he exudes such youth and exuberance. You buy the fact that this kid has been thrown in the literal deep end, struggling to get to grips with his powers, and now is tasked with saving not one, not two, but numerous universes from destruction. And getting to see his origin story, something that we've yet to see translate on the big screen, is just an absolute delight. Even though he's not front and centre, Peter Parker does appear in this film, voiced by Jake Johnson, and he's a very different Peter Parker than what we're used to. Not to mention, there are tons of meta references to past incarnations of Spider-Man that are sure to have everyone laughing in the aisles. As for the other spider beings, they take a predominantly supporting role, but each get their moment to shine. Gwen Stacy, voiced by Hailee Steinfeld, is terrific, as is Penny Parker, and whoever made the decision to cast John Mulaney as Spider-Ham and Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir, you deserve a raise immediately. They are so funny. And that's one of the biggest positives I can give Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, is that it is just so consistently funny. But there was a point where the laughs just kept coming and coming, and I was sitting there like holding my side, thinking I was going to crack a rib or something. By a country mile, this is the funniest film I've seen all year. Funnier than most of the comedies that came out. It blows them straight out the water. Whether it be actual genuine humour, witty one-liners, or the most outlandish, deep, and I mean deep, comic cuts, Spider-Verse presents itself almost as like the family-friendly version of Deadpool. Can we also talk about the animation? Because holy shit, this film is gorgeous. I know it sounds cliche to say in a review, but I can honestly guarantee that you will have never seen a film that looks like this. Visually, it is one of the most complex animations I've ever seen. I'm telling you now, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who obviously produced this and directed the Lego Movie, are making serious groundbreaking waves within the realm of animation. The look of the film is 3D, but it's almost as if it's been flattened and then double featured, kind of like that effect you get when you're watching 3D but without the glasses. It's a little tough to adjust to at first, but your eyes get adapted to it soon enough. I will say, if I have a teeny tiny little nitpick, it would be that when all the action's going on, all these big battle sequences, everything's colourful, everything's going on at once, but because of that animation style, it's a little difficult to ingest it at first. It did give me a bit of eye strain, not that much pain, like it's only a very minor critique, but I think sometimes it could have been toned down very slightly, because It is a lot to fully digest. The film even looks as if it was taken right out of a comic book. It has like this comic-like texture over the top of it. Honestly, if this doesn't win Best Animation, I'm gonna flip. I can't think of anything drastically wrong with Spider-Verse. It's a perfect introduction to Miles Morales and his stories, and I really hope that this film does well because I want to explore so much more about him and all the various adventures that he may go on. Kids will love it. Adults will love it. Marvel fans will adore it. Plus, of course, as to be expected, there is a Stan Lee cameo in it, and I'm not gonna lie, that hit me really hard, as it did with most of the other audience members. The animation is a feat of filmmaking brilliance. Honestly, I'm gonna see this film more than once in the cinemas and repeatedly when it comes out on home release. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse isn't just my favourite animated film of this year. It isn't just my favourite Spider-Man movie of all time. It isn't just my favourite comic book movie of the year so far. Haven't seen Aquaman yet, we'll tell you what that's like when I see it. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is one of my favourite films this year, period. I can't quite give Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse my perfect rating, but I can get very close because I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Please go out and see this film because as long as this does well enough, Sony can keep producing content like this and not producing content like that.
You will be this honest, legless, faceless thing, won't you? Rolling down the street like a turd in the wind.
So that was my verdict on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Let me know if you've seen the film, what you thought about it in the comments below, as well as your favourite incarnation of Spider-Man so far. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Links to my Facebook and Twitter and the Medicinema website are in the description below. Many thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.